in this entire journey of launch control, what is that one high point that you have had? I think now you just answered that,
Yeah.
that the arena is now full.
Yeah, because now the space is less for us.
Yeah.
Either we have to like add another day to it, and also to be very honest, I also like, since our friends and fellow supercar sports car owners also have a lot of bikes.
Yeah.
They want to ride bikes also now. They're like, bro, you do such a crazy event, let us run our bikes also. I want to do drags for like quarter mile runs and half mile for bikes also, but we will never do it at the boot circuit because it's not safe for them. The
Hmm.
area is too small. The width is not that much.
Hmm.
Just in any case, anybody like has any issue or anything, he'll get hurt.
Yeah.
So we do, and also the braking space
Yeah.
in the end. In a
Yeah.
car, still you'll stop in gravel, or maybe
Of
you'll even
course.
bang into the wall. You still have airbags, you have everything to protect you. You're still safe. But
Not for
in a bike,
bikes.
then it's a different story altogether.
Hmm.
And the high point was that, like, literally, like being on national television as well.
Hmm.
Like, for
Hmm.
us to be on national television, as like, we are, all my partners, only one is above 30. All of
Hmm.
us are lesser than 30.
I
And
think you have achieved quite, that respect, and that you've actually successfully been able to change perceptions at different levels, not only just people from the automobile community, but also from, I'm sure, I mean, I don't know, but I'm very sure that people also who are in the Ministry of Road Transportation, and
yes,
your intention is very deep, and I completely admire it, that bring people off the main roads and give them a platform to perform. Because from what I can see is, that's where you are actually contributing to reducing the number of accidents on
correct,
road, because
correct.
then people are fulfilled when they are pushing their machines to their limits or past their limits and trying their hands on, driving the living daylights out of their
Yeah.
machines. You have given them a platform, so hats off to you on that.
No, thank you so much, bro. Like, literally, uh,
And I wish you all the luck for, I think now it's high time to go past both the international
yeah,
circuit.
yeah, definitely we want to. So why we want to move around is not just because the arena is small now, also because
Hmm.
that I want people to experience different tracks now,
Absolutely. I mean,
different formats. People like things which we have only seen on Instagram or we have only seen happening like
yeah.
globally. I want to do these things in India, take it
Hmm.
to the next level now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like how even that road trip,
Hmm.
like we did with our friends. So even in that, we wanted to take it to the next level. Everybody is like, how are you? How did you achieve that? How is
Yeah.
that even possible? People were like doubting us that we can't do it. Even for launch control, there have been so many times people have tried to sabotage our event. They tried to strong arm us. They tried to like even like offer us like money to like move our events. We will never do that. We are very well
Hmm.
equipped with that kind of money. All of us, even all five of us.
Hmm.
Even
True.
if we want, we can just do it for us and pay it off and not do it for anybody else.
Hmm.
But that's not what our goal was. We always wanted to do for the community and everything, and we always get the maximum money. We try to squeeze our sponsors because they get that.
They get that visibility,
Yeah,
of course. I
they
mean,
have to pay for it.
yeah.
And I always want to like,
And I'm sure they see the value
of
there.
course,
That's, I
like
mean,
even
why
like
not?
any of these brands who part.
100% audience is their target
It's
market,
the
right?
TG, yes,
Yeah,
and also not just that. Like these guys have converted,
of course.
right? So that is where we also want to like showcase these cars at the right place where they are in the right mindset.
Yeah,
They've just come to look at cars and drive cars.
correct.
Not every day sitting at work you will think, oh, I'll go to the showroom and buy a car. But if you will get to see it, maybe you will dream for it, would want to achieve it. So that
Yeah,
is also one thing, that why do we want to place all these cars there, is like
correct.
for you to like try to achieve them. Like today you've come, like for example, I've seen people coming in with a Audi TT, and now this time they rolled up in a E63. People who've come in M4 or something like that, they've rolled up in a Huracan now.
Congratulations and all the best for what you're doing and what
Yeah.
you plan to do. That brings me, and I think there's a lot of personal questions also I wanted to ask you, but I think you have actually answered a lot of them by sharing your passion for
Passion
launch
for,
control
yeah.
automatically. I'll just ask you one last question. and that is about the evolution of your fleet of cars, where it started for you, and speak about what kind of customizations you drove yourself into, and now what do you drive,
Yeah.
the entire thing.
So back in the day, I started my first car, which I got to like drive, and luckily I was also in the Autocar magazine. Luckily, back
Oh,
in 2013 itself.
that I didn't know.
Back in
Okay.
2013 itself, it was like kids of his age dream to like build these cars on a PlayStation. Like they
Yeah.
and Pranav like turned it into a reality, and he wanted to make it, though he's not able to drive it yet because I was just 16 back in the day
Yeah.
when I built that car, and my driver used to drive it for me, and I
This
used to
was a
take
Civic.
this was the Civic,
Okay.
and then I used to take pride because I had built it.
Okay.
I had brought everything with my own hands from Bangkok, like the full, the Mugen RR rare spoiler, which was a three-piece spoiler. Then 2012-13, imagine I had puts to start. Like back in the day, cars have it now. Like I had like carbon fiber hoods, like suicide doors, like the Lambo, and also to be very honest, like since back in the day I did not have that, or the family did not have that kind of funds to like own like a Audi or like a BMW. So I had Audi style lights on my Civic. Okay.
Nice.
So because I was like, bro, back in the day, those A4s used to have that. I was like, bro, I can't like buy an Audi yet, but I want to like have lights like that at least. Yeah. So that's where it all started from, and like yeah, from Civic it started. Then it evolved to like I'll just talk about the cars I like
Of course.
I drove and like I beat on.
You
Like
missed
those
out one thing about the Civic, although I'm asking you the question about Civic, but I'll never forget the exhaust.
even the exhaust, and
Civic.
for that matter, even the surround system. My car was running 11,000 watt RMS. It had two different cooling fans, two separate batteries to run that setup.
Wow.
It was in my boot on both the sides. I had two full size batteries, one on the left, one on the right. It had those connectors like for short circuit and for those issues. And then I had my box underneath where you put your stepney. That's where one of my amplifier was there. I had two computer cooling fans to always keep it cool so that it
My
doesn't
God.
get heated. And it was done by Anubhav from
Okay, Sundown.
Sundown Audio. Though I was running FI audio on that
Fire
on
audio.
my car,
Yeah.
on my car, and I think we hit like only like 5-6 decibel less than the loudest car at
Wow.
the event, like which was like the Swift. I tried to give time to my car back in the day, and I used to travel 38 metro stations every day,
Okay.
which is from my house to Chhatarpur.
Okay.
And I had to like change also once in between. So this was my pattern every day. 36 is one way. So that means 74 throughout the day. So I used to spend 2 hours in a metro just to go and look at my car, sit around it, and see how it's getting built.
Wow.
So that is where it started from, like complete passion for like cars and like doing it with your own hands. And I
Yeah.
am somebody who likes to get dirty with cars.
Absolutely.
I want to get under the car.
That's where the love actually begins.
Yeah.
I mean, you just buy a built car.
Yeah.
You just don't feel that. You
Yes.
just don't feel that.
I've like helped the boy to cut the fenders. I would like let me give it a go.
You
And
gave
things.
it to Arush?
No, it had gone to Udit back in the
Udit,
day.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was that, and then post the Civic, then I got the Polo, which was like the 1.6 diesel GT.
The Polo.
The Polo, and it like killed everybody at the drag strip. Back in the day
I
when it used to
remember.
happen at DTU,
DTU.
and that is like even like Sanyam and like
Yeah.
Abhimanyu and like people like Varis and all these people had like they were the people who were doing it back in the day.
And what you were just running a remap on the Polo?
Only stage one.
Only stage.
And I beat like 14 cars on that strip. All the VRSs back in the day, all your Audi A4s, 2-liter Lauras, everything. Everything. Like it was like a rocket, like that car. And I tuned it when it had done, I maybe 230 kilometers. That's it. Straight out of the showroom.
As you mentioned earlier, you never give a damn about the warranty.
Yeah, and I just straight away sent it to Akshay. I was like, we need to put a remap on this. And the car used to make 105 stock, and we managed to do like a 132 horsepower thing on it. And it was like a beast. I still have it.
Felt, I'm sure.
It had like.
I mean, I still remember it felt much more than 140, 135.
135. It is because of the torque. The car was running somewhere around 300 plus torque.
Wow.
Polo. So
That's a lot of
that's
talk.
a lot of talk.
Huh.
So that was there. Post that, then after the Polo, then I had like my 3 liters. I had a pair of the 530D and the A6 together.
Okay.
So it was a 3 liter A6 all wheel drive, and it was a 3 liter 530D rear wheel drive. So I had best of both worlds. Like whenever I wanted to go for a very
Huh.
fast run or
3
something,
liter, the BM was a petrol?
it was a deal. Both
Acha,
were
530D.
D,
Sorry. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I got it.
And
Okay.
even the A6 was a 3 liter TDI.
TDI.
Yeah. So so the 5 series came in with a regular, like how it is regular, like a
Hmm.
Highline.
Hmm.
But then I converted into an M Sport. I
Hmm.
sent it to BMW. I was like, I want the M Sport bumpers, I want the M Sport rims, I want the M Sport skirts. And though I never got a chance to tune that car because it anyway fucking used to scare me because it used to light up its
Absolutely.
tires like how. And I was just maybe like 20 years old or maybe 19 years old.
Huh.
So I was scared to be in a car which is like 260 horsepower and like
Huh.
I don't know 500-600 nm torque or something like
Huh.
that. Then
After the BM and the Audi, then
I literally got my hands on a V8 finally, and that was like the best looking car I feel I've ever owned in my life. It
Mhm.
was the 650i convertible. First saw it in 2016,
Hmm.
and I fell in love with it. And I
Hmm.
was like, I want to get this car. Like
Huh.
that was a replacement to the 530.
Okay. Okay.
So I saw that car, and then by God's grace, we worked hard, and like He blessed us, and we got that car.
Hmm.
Like as a family, we were so excited to get like a convertible and a
Hmm.
two-door, and it being like a 4.4 V8.
Hmm.
So then I went full mad on that car,
Hmm.
full
Hmm.
ham. So I did a full M Performance kit on it, and anytime I've done any of this, it's only by the company.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't let anybody else touch
Fair
the car.
enough. Fair
Like
enough.
even if any of my services for any of my cars
Hmm.
till date, even if the Polo has done 10 years, will go back to Volkswagen.
Hmm. Hmm.
I will not send it to anybody
Fair
else.
enough. Fair enough.
So
Hmm.
then with the six, then we went full ham. We did
Hmm.
everything, and then I got my hands on an RS6.
Yeah.
And so this is also a very funny story that I saw a post on Instagram, and I saw it, and then I misunderstood. Like maybe it was my mistake. I did not see it properly.
Hmm.
I got too excited, and I messaged the other person.
Hmm.
It so I wouldn't like put the first name, but it is listing in the end. Okay,
Okay.
it says listing in the end.
Uh-huh.
So so both had listing in the end, and the first word had a difference. That's it.
Okay.
So I got confused, and I messaged the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And that time, these guys were selling like a red RS6.
Okay.
And when I messaged him, he said, "There's a black one also."
Okay.
I was like, "What's the difference between both?" So he's like, "The red one has done 10,000 and the black one has done 4,200." I was like, "I want the black one."
Okay.
And I was like, "How many cars are there in the country?" He said there are in total 7 cars. I was like, "How many blacks?" He's like, "Only one." I was like, "Of course, man, then we'll go for the black."
Are you serious? Your RS6 black, the one which you have, it's the only one in the
It's
country.
the only black RS6 in the country. Like original paint by company it's the only black RS6 in the country.
Nice.
And
And what are the power figures run your
right now, say it depends on what kind of fuel I put in the car. So luckily, I have a device on my car which is called Dyno Spectrum. It gives me an option to switch between 7 maps on the go. I don't have to turn off
Oh.
my car. I don't have to do anything. Just change the fuel. Just use my cruise control and change my map on the go. If I like, for
Oh,
example,
wow.
so it's so funny. Like for example, I see a 488 trying to chase me, right? And I am on like map 0 running 680 horsepower. And if I have like 100 octane in my car, then I can switch it up to 710. I'm like, on the go, change the power, go. It's that crazy. Like you can do that on the go. I never thought that like any car or anything, like even on Ferraris, on other cars, you have to stop it on the side, turn it off, change the map, then turn it on and then run it. I can do all of this on the go.
Wow.
So it depends. So on like 97 octane, that's what I usually run my car on. I am making somewhere around 670 horsepower.
Okay.
It came in
Wow.
at 560 horsepower and I think 800 or 750 Nm torque or something.
Okay.
Because I did not keep it stock for long, so I don't really know the stuff. I think I got the car at 4,200 kilometers. At 5,400 kilometers was tuned.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is one device I have on my car. So it ranges from like 97 octane gives me like 670, 680. Then the 98 octane map. So this is a 93 file. Then I have a 98 file. 98 file gives me somewhere around 710 horsepower when I
Okay.
put 100 octane into it, a pump gas. And then I can switch it up to 104 map also. So 104 map gives me somewhere around 760 horsepower, but that is only on race fuel.
Okay.
So that's only on race
And
fuel. So I have
torque figures on that?
torque on 100 octane, it does 1050 Nm on 100 octane. We have never
All wheel
tested
drive.
all wheel drive, and we have never tested it on the dyno though. But we have had a similar car like an RS7 doing those figures on the same setup.
Mhm.
So that's how we know how we can like
Correct.
compare and get to know like
Correct,
what my
correct,
car
correct,
is
correct.
running. And the car does like a 10-9 on the draggy. It does 0 to
Uh-huh.
100 in 3.2 seconds. It does like 100 to 200 in 6.4,
What,
6.5
0 to
seconds.
100 in? Sorry?
It's a 3.2.
3.2. Oh,
It's a
okay.
valid 3.2,
Wow.
and that is on like P zeros. Now I have like Michelin 4Ss, so I'm gonna put another time very soon in winters. I was just waiting for winters. So now once Delhi drops down to 12 degrees, then I want to do like a 10-8 on the car. And then maybe I've had enough. I've like beat on it for over now 17,000 kilometers. And I've only driven it on the track mostly.
Wow.
And otherwise, if I have driven it, it's only for drives or for like an autocross. And autocross also, like so when you drive a modified car or tuned car, you need to be very gentle with it. It will not behave like how an OEM car
Hmm.
will behave. Like you can't just press on it anytime.
Yeah.
You need to like give it some speed, give it some heat into it. You cannot just turn it on, let the cold start finish, and then rip on it. No, you need to drive it for at least 10 kilometers, let the things get hot, let the differential know that it's gonna get hammered again, let the prop shop
Uh,
know again it's gonna get hammered. So all these things, so you need to be very patient with these cars, and also with this kind of power and speed comes a lot of responsibility because these cars are very heavy. These cars are like 1900, 1950 kgs. It takes a lot of space to stop also.
it does.
So, yeah, I did not upgrade my brakes because I felt that they were good enough
They
since
were
they are
good
like
enough. Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
380 rotors
Yeah.
on the front, which is like
Hmm.
as big as my polo wheel. The brakes are
Wow.
that big. And so, yeah, that happened. And then, so these are the figures what we can put out on the car.
And I think so. My next question, actually, I was about to ask, but I'll not ask you that about your dream build or dream car, because let that be a surprise. I'd rather let that be a surprise of
Yeah,
looking at your history with the kind of cars you
I will
own.
get something which will, matlab, I always try to get cars which other people don't have. That is how I am. I always want to like stand out and have something very different, and always want to like compete with a different platform. Like if somebody is going like a Nissan, or if somebody is going like a Audi platform, right?
Huh,
I would
huh.
want to go like south.
Hmm,
I would want to like compete with them with a different platform altogether. What
hmm,
other people have not explored, or
huh,
people India have not explored yet.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
And
hmm.
hopefully, by God's grace, or like I'm working very hard for it. Hopefully, we will have our dream car very soon, and we'll do a dream build on it.
Don't tell.
No, no, I
Okay.
wouldn't tell. I
Don't
wouldn't
tell
tell
which
because
one.
I don't want to jinx it anyway, and I don't want all the cars to go off the market, and I don't want them to ask for too much money from me as well. And also, like to be very honest, I don't like to buy new cars at all
Huh.
because
Doesn't make
they
sense.
depreciate a lot.
Doesn't make
I want
sense.
the first one to take all the depreciations, and then I can own these cars.
Exactly. I mean, in India, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
and
sense.
also like when it's a new car, then you don't want to beat on it. Like
Yeah.
of course the Audi, like both the even the 6 was at 5,000, this was at 4,000. It's a barely a new car
Yeah.
only, but still, like when you spend that kind of money, then you don't feel like
You
beating on
don't feel
these
like,
cars.
yeah.
But when you spend like maybe like 60% of what the car was,
Hmm.
100 maybe was like 3, and right now you got it for like 110, 120, 130, you can
Hmm.
still beat on it.
Yeah.
But on a 3 CR car or on a 4 CR car, like it depends on person to person. If he has that kind of bandwidth, he can still do it.
Correct.
Right now, I don't have it. The bandwidth I have, I'm just playing around that.
Hmm.
Being in my segment, being in my league, I don't want to
Hmm.
take very big steps. I've already taken this big step of buying an RS6, and it
Hmm.
has spoiled me a lot. Because for me to get anything now is like a task.
Hmm.
Because to get a car which can do 3.2, 6.5 on a 100 to 200 and a quarter mile of 10
Yeah.
8, 10 9,
Hmm.
these cars knew all these cars, like a Huracan does that, which is for 5 crores. So not happening. So yeah, so, and also I've always been this person who wants to like build versus bought.
Huh.
I
Absolutely,
always
yeah, yeah.
like to
I've
have,
known you since the time I've known you.
and
Absolutely.
this is a friendly banter. I never want to disrespect any of the supercar
Huh.
owners. I don't have a supercar yet. My car has supercar
Yeah.
performance, but it's a sports car,
Hmm.
right? Or it's like a GT car.
Yeah.
One can say it's an RS, so it's like a sports car.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is there. So I always like to like have fun with them and like put my car against them, and because they spend like 5 times of what I spend, and I'm still able to keep
That's
up with
another
them.
point where you get the high.
Yes, that is my biggest high. Like back in
It's
2019.
like you race against a Ferrari or a Lambo. Like station wagon se haar gaya bhai tu.
Yeah,
Station wagon
like
se haar
yeah,
hai.
I have like had races where I had like 2 to 3 people in my car and going against like McLarens and winning against them and going against like Huracans and like not just Huracans, even like 488s and like 812s. All these cars, like I've had too much fun around all these cars, and it's all friendly banter. Like it's and that is why now I want them to shine. I want to take them to the next level, take them to a half mile.
Of course.
That is where all these McLarens, Ferraris, Lambos will activate their main aero and their power. That is where these guys will shine. Now I want to give them a platform where they can also like perform, win, go against these fast cars, build versus bought. Okay, I never like say that you have that kind of money, please go for it, buy it. And anybody who comes at launch control, to be very honest, they beat on their cars. You need to see them how they drive their cars. They don't care. It is for X amount of money.
That's why
You will see an 812 drifting. You will see a 488 drifting. You will see an all-wheel drive Huracan also trying to drift. Even if it breaks, he doesn't care. People come in with like 10 sets of rear tires for 2 days. It's like 10 sets of rear tires, like 20 tires for 16 hours. And they are done with those tires.
And that's all because of you, I think.
Yeah, matlab,
I mean, in a good way only,
Yeah.
I'm saying. So, I mean, hats off to you, man. I mean, it's crazy to know. And I mean, you know what, guys? This is why we drive cars. And I personally feel that era was fading out where people had started to forget about the whole kick that people like Pranav and me and many other people out there we get out of driving cars with engines. I mean, we haven't really spoken to Pranav about the whole EV thing, but we'll keep that for later because we've had a very long conversation today. But you know what? Hats off to you, man, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
May the downforce be with you.
Yeah, just guys, I just want everybody to be very safe.
Absolutely.
And please get these cars off the street, get them onto the track. We are more than help.
Please do that. You've got launch control happening. There are
other events
many
other events. I wouldn't just talk about like launch control. They should go explore everything.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Launch control is happening. There is, many other events happening like BND and I don't know, so many different events.
They have rally run, then they have
rallies are happening. And
so many things are happening.
The point is, things are happening now in closed environments, and we really urge that, you know what, if you really want to put it to the test, put your machine and yourself to the test. Do not do it out on the main roads. Go out and do it on those closed circuits, closed environments, and have your fun there and maintain safety on the road because you've got a very long life ahead. Like what Pranav said, safety is first always.
Yes.
But boss, thank you so much for today. Finally, I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a very long conversation. I still have so many things I would want to talk to you about, but maybe we'll keep that for another
later.
time.
Maybe then we'll also have our secret reveal also ready, hopefully.
Hopefully, very soon that will happen by the grace of God. But once again, thanks a lot, man.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.